Well, I think that as far as the kids is concerned, probably what I've talked about in terms of the athletic development, the strength, the push-ups, the sit-ups, and the fundamentals of playing football: blocking, tackling, hand position, leverage, meaning are you low or you high, etc. Those sorts of things are huge to me in a spring ball situation. And then just teaching football. I mean, that's one of the things that some of the guys that are continuing to get into high school are really a little bit down on. They don't necessarily understand football. So I would love to help out any youth coach or any youth player, parent, whatever, to understand football, like literally the A gap is the place between the center and the guard, because there's just not a lot of understanding of that. And I think a kid can really help themselves out the more they know football. Not just know who was the Super Bowl champ from the year before or who the leading wide receiver for the NFL was. That's not knowing football. Knowing football is about understanding the game in terms of X's and O's. That's a big, huge advantage that people could have. I also think that it's very important in the youth leagues to establish a sort of a code of conduct, if you will, or I guess you could call it a way to engage parents in understanding that if they're going to be with a youth league, that youth league is expecting them to show up every single day. And I think that sometimes the parents need as much coaching on that as anybody else. So a simple contract that states, you will bring your kid every day to practice unless they're sick, or that you're signing up for this or that, and so we expect your kid to be here every day, and you have a signed document on that. I think that kind of helps engage people more in the commitment that I've really been preaching about.
So when you say the commitment and engaging them in that contract, what's some of the repercussions if that contract isn't fulfilled?
Well, I think the only thing that you can do as far as repercussions, and you hate to talk about that, but somebody's always going to be that person that's going to, push it, or push the rules, or bend the rules, or ignore the rules. And I think obviously there has to be consequences. My first thought would be that they're penalized playing time, because at the end of the day, they're playing or they're being part of this team so that they can play. And if they have no interest in playing, then there's no need for a consequence, and they probably won't play in the future. But if a kid really wants to play, if a parent really wants their kid to play, then they have to invest the time in it. And if they're not investing the time in it, then the reward should not be there either.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I think something that's league-wide would be more appropriate than just saying it's on the individual coach. That way it's out of the coach's hands. So if a person misses 3 practices in a week and expects to drop their kid off on Saturday and they get to play, I think that needs to be out of the coach's hands. Oh, sorry, Mr. and Miss Johnson, you didn't, your kid was mispracticed for whatever reason. All week long, and so, per league rules, we're not able to play them today. I think that is a way better approach to take than anything